Unit 2. Focus on listening 2. Healthy eating. Section 2. You will hear a short talk about healthy eating. First, look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 10.
I think that's all I need to say at this stage by way of an introduction to the college. But just to round off the morning, we can turn to something different, a subject which I think is close to most people's hearts, food. So let me introduce Linda Golding, the college welfare officer. Linda.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm here to say a few words about healthy eating. And the first thing I want to emphasize is the importance of a balanced diet. The right balance is vitally important for health, both mental and physical, especially when you're studying hard or under stress. I know it's tempting to eat a lot of snacks and takeouts, but remember that they tend to contain a lot of sugar and fat, and we eat too much sugar. Did you know that in Europe and the USA, we're eating about 20 times as much sugar as we did in 1800? Shocking, isn't it? And also 5 times as much fat. No wonder there's been a huge increase in heart disease and other illnesses in the West. So in the short time I've been allotted, I'd like to run through some basic principles. Now, one of the most important things to include in our diet is fresh fruit and vegetables. The advice is that we should be aiming to eat 5 servings every day. It sounds a lot, I know, but you soon reach that if you have a banana with your breakfast, an apple at lunch, and 3 vegetables with your evening meal. Secondly, most of us need to try and reduce our sugar intake. Remember that many processed foods and ready meals contain sugar. And the one thing to be especially careful about is carbonated drinks like lemonade and cola. They're usually packed full of sugar. So avoid carbonated drinks and choose water or fruit juice instead. It's better for you. Another thing to watch is your fat intake. Most of the fat in our diet comes from meat and dairy products. So try and stick to lean meat, poultry, and fish, and make a point of choosing low-fat dairy products, things like yogurt or skimmed milk. Oh, and don't buy hard cooking fat. Use sunflower oil instead. Next, we all know that cholesterol is a bad word. It's found in meat and dairy products, of course, but don't forget that it's also in eggs. So limit the number of eggs you eat to 3 or 4 a week. That's what the health experts suggest. And just a couple more points. Most of us eat far too much salt, and that can lead to high blood pressure. So cut down the amount of salt you add to food. When you're cooking, try using lemon juice instead as a way of enhancing the flavor. Finally, don't be tempted to skip meals. It's much better for your health if you eat regular light meals 3 times a day rather than just one enormous meal. Now, just for fun, here's a question for you. What do you think is the world's most nutritious fruit? An apple, would you say? Or an orange? Well, you may be surprised. It's actually an avocado pear. You know, those dark green fruits you see in salads sometimes? Avocado pears contain about 165 calories for every 100 grams. That's more than eggs or milk. They also contain twice as much protein as milk and more vitamin A, B, and C. Well, that's all I have time for now. And yes, it's lunchtime. So enjoy your meal and be healthy.
That is the end of the section. You now have half a minute to check your answers.